Somewhat ironically, the first assembled component of the new build is the bottom bracket with the fan and HDD mounted on it. I will almost definitely have to redo this at least one more time, maybe 2 times, and yeah, let me explain why. But first, just have a look at how closely and how tightly both components fit onto the bottom mounting bracket. Now you can see that the hard drive is at the edge of the mounting bracket, and then the fan is almost at the edge as well, and they are actually touching each other here. And this physical contact right here is something that I'm unhappy about. Both the hard drive and the fan are sources of vibration. However, it's not a good idea to subject the hard drive to any kind of extra vibration during its operation, as that may cause errors in accessing or writing the data, and will probably have at least a slight negative impact on the longevity of this hard drive. So this is the first reason why I may wish to redo this. I don't want the physical contact between the two. One could think that it doesn't really matter if I have a gap here or not. However, direct transfer of vibration will only have a decreasing factor of the efficiency of such transfer on the contact surface. If I were to add an air gap here, then all of the vibration from the fan would have to be transferred through the metal mounting bracket. And as metal is rather flexible and compressible and so on and so forth, it will definitely dissipate some of the vibration energy if I were to add a gap here. So although I will not be able to fully eliminate the vibration transfer from the fan to the hard drive, I will definitely be able to decrease it if I add a gap here. To avoid this contact, I do have an option of... Ouch! Oh man, how the hard drive survived. I do have an option of moving it a little bit further away. So I think to this mounting hole, which would be roughly 1 centimeter or maybe like 12 millimeters further away. But that also implies that the edge of the hard drive will stick out by this much. And if you look into how the bracket is mounted in here, so you see the edge of the bracket, I can probably afford 1 extra centimeter of protrusion. However, it might be difficult to put it into this case. Or actually, no, it should be fine. No, it should be totally fine. Yeah, I can afford 1 centimeter of protrusion from the mounting bracket here. But then I will definitely have too little space for any kind of a straight SATA cable, as you can see here. So I will definitely need an angled SATA cable and also angled SATA power cable here to switch these two. Now, I mentioned there were several reasons that I may wish to reassemble this entire bracket a few times. Now, that was the major reason, the vibration, and you may notice that I do have tiny anti-vibration pads that the hard drive is attached with. Another reason is cable management for the fan. So here I'm reusing the Arctic 12 centimeter fan, which has worked great in my previous build, and I'm actually cannibalizing this fan from the previous build. I have another one there, and I've been using this in conjunction with these, I believe these are Silverstone ultrafine filters or something like this. Amazing performance, I would say. So this one is cleaned now. It didn't look this well when I took it out of the previous build, but the fan did look almost like it does now. I did have to wipe a little bit of ultrafine dust from it, but otherwise it looked like, I don't know, maybe it was a few months in the case, but in reality it was in the case for at least a few years. So I can highly recommend ultrafine filters to be placed in front of your intake fans. Alright, so the reason to wish to remount this one is basically just to rotate it a little bit so that I can tuck the cable somehow around the fan so that it is shorter before it reaches the motherboard. And there's another consideration for the hard drive here. So right now I have the SATA and power plugs on the side which is facing the edge of the case, or be it the front or the rear of the case. However, I think all the SATA connections on the motherboard are somewhere down here, so essentially somewhere in the middle, which means I may wish to flip the hard drive over and also shift it out by 1 centimeter so that the connections are here, and then probably get a short 10 centimeter or so double-angled SATA cable to plug it in with. And I did say double-angled. You may remember that the motherboard essentially goes all the way to the edge of the backplate here. And if you look at the mounting bracket, there's not much room between the hard drive and the fan and the edge of the mounting bracket. And then the edge of the mounting bracket itself is like 1 centimeter or so away from the backplate. And that will likely be all the space that I have to make any kind of attachments, which is why I may wish to have double-angled SATA connection cables. Well, let's proceed with the motherboard BIOS update in the next video and see how all of this is coming together slowly. One of the aspects of this case that I'm still not sure how to proceed with is the elevation above the floor level. So it already offers some gap, at least for the bottom intake, but by the looks of it, it's about 1.5 centimeters maybe. I'm considering to increase this gap by an additional 5 to 10 millimeters, but I'm not sure how to do this. So the stand of the leg itself is hollow in the middle, and then there is a thin layer of plastic which is then attached to the case with a tiny screw. So the simplest way would be just to add something in between this leg and the case, but this won't work because this screw is way too short for this. So I need either longer screws, or I need to put something on the bottom part of the standoff of the leg, which I don't really want to do because this already has a kind of a soft material on it. So yeah, another option might be to look for case legs which are a bit thicker than these ones. Yeah, I'll have to think on this and maybe look for some other solutions. One thing that is becoming more and more obvious with this still pending build is that there will be lots and lots of small compromises which I would normally not want to do. So I've already talked about the physical contact and the vibration transfer, but then if you look at this mounting bracket, and I will try not to drop the hard drive this time, although this is a 140 millimeter fan, oh wait, this is actually I think this is 120 millimeter fan, sorry, it's a 120, but you can see that the cutout where the air can get in is actually smaller than the size of the blades. And this is necessitated by the mounting holes for the 2.5 and 3.5 hard drives or SSDs. So you kind of get that point, but then you already have a little bit of airflow restriction even before you mount this into the case. Another aspect where this is definitely going to be causing some inconveniences is the cable management. I can already see this being a huge problem in such a tightly packed case.